Hello, Carrie here from Two Big Girls Crafting. I thought I'd just create a little tutorial on how I created the cascade part of this card. Let me just undo it so you can see. I won't be doing any other decorating, just the making of the card base itself. So here we go. You're going to need, I'm going to give you the metric measurements, but I will write in the description the US imperial measurements because I'm a metric girl, but I have worked it out for you. So we're going to start off. You're going to need a piece of A4 paper that you're going to cut in half at 14.85, and you're going to take one piece and you're going to score it at 5.25. This is going to become your gatefold outer side. Now, if you have the Simply Scored tool, very nice to know, they have a marking at 2.25, which is perfect to make a standard C6 gatefold card. I will be using the machine for other videos. Anyway, there we go. That's folded. That's my gatefold card done. Now, for the second piece of cardstock, we're going to make that 14.85 by 20 centimetres. So we're going to take a centimetre off it. And then all we're going to do is we're going to score this piece at 5. Give it a nice score. 5, 10 and 15 centimetres. If you're following, if you want to do this in the imperial, in the sizes for the US, it's made exactly the same, you just use different measurements. So we there have our score lines. Move this out the way, and next we're going to bring in a pencil, very high-tech piece of kit, and we're a ruler, and we're going to mark 2.5 centimetres down from the top left and 2.5 centimetres up from the bottom right. So I'm just going to put my ruler down and put a pencil mark there and rotate and come back and put a pencil mark at 2.5 centimetres there. So when it's looking in the landscape position, you've got 2.5 down, 2.5 up. Now, I'm going to grab my trimmer. You could use scissors or whatever you like to use. Guillotine. All I'm going to do is find my marks, line them up in the gully of my trimmer, and I'm going to slice this piece of card in half at an odd angle. So we end up with 2 pieces. So we now have 2 panels. Rub out those pencil lines. We don't want to see those. Always use a pencil. So you have 2 pieces that are identical in size. We're now going to take our ruler again, and we're going to find the centre marks for these panels. Now, I do suggest doing it for each time you do this, simply because it may vary. But mine is 10 centimetres on the large, so we're only marking the centre points on the largest and the smallest score lines. And this one should be 2.5. Yes, it is. Now, on the American version, that it is a little trickier, but work with it, you'll get there. So we're going to do the same again for this piece. We're going to find the centre of the largest line. Pull that up so I can just make sure I'm in the right place. 5. And the smallest one, which should be 2.5. That's it. 2.5 centimetres. Now, for this next bit, you're going to need a pair of scissors. I recommend a longer bladed scissor, but you work with what you like. One of these pieces, they're both exactly identical at the moment. They've got the same marks, the same score lines, they're the same size. But this time we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to cut up to the mark on this panel in the centre of the score line, and then rub out our pencil marks like that. So we now have cut lines there. And for the second piece, we're going to rotate it and we're going to cut from the top to the middle mark. Now, I've got a bit of a double score going on there, so I just need to check that that's in the right, I'm using the right one. So we're going to cut rather down to the score line. So let's rub out our pencil marks, because we don't want those there. And there we have it. So we have two pieces, identical apart from where the cut lines are. So how do we start? Well, basically all we're going to do is slot these two pieces together. So we start with the back panel and we slot that and we jiggle it down so it's nice and even. So that, and then we're going to open it out and line up. If you do find that your slots don't quite line up at the ends here, you can of course go back in and just cut into one of your score lines. This one doesn't need it. So we've now got our two panels attached at the back. We're going to fold along that score line and that score line to create the cascade. We're going to do the same again for this side and this side. But this time we're going to take the two small slits and marry them up. And there we have it. Grab a bone folder when you can find one. Give your score lines a nice burnish, because a nicely burnished score line works better. Make sure they sit together neatly and decorate. Now I placed my pop out cascade panel so it lined up to the bottom edge of my gatefold. So I would recommend decorating this before you put it inside there so you can work out where you're at. Now the decorating of this is easy. You just need to, let me get a piece of patterned paper. Very quickly grab a piece of patterned paper. This is just to show you how to do it. This is not to say you have to do it this way. You don't have to use these papers, you don't have to use these colours. So what you're going to need are some DSP panels. I'm going to show you how to do one. I'm not going to show you how to do each of them. So they're all going to be the same height. So they're all going to be, let me just double check. They're going to be 12 centimetres high. So I'm going to cut my pattern paper to 12 centimetres. There we go. And then they are 4.5 centimetres wide, because I know that my panels are 5 centimetres, because that's what I cut them at. I'm going to do two the same time so that I can see where my panels are. Take that away. Then, now, I'm going to deconstruct this so I can get my pattern correct. So these are all the same. So I have two pieces of pattern paper. I'm going to put them the side that I want to show facing together, so right sides together. Now this is double-sided paper, so I could have chosen the other one, but I didn't. Now what do I do? Well, all I'm going to do is mark it at 2.5 centimetres down on the top right corner. I'm going to bring back in my trusty trimmer. And I'm going to line up the corner in the gully and the mark in the gully. You can use a guillotine if that's what you prefer to use. My blade's just popped out. It must need replacing, so let's put that back in. Now, if you're doing a corner point, you don't want that to bear. I always recommend starting in the middle and just trim off. So this is exactly how you would deal with every panel for your piece. Next, you're going to work out which piece goes on where. So we're going to place that back together like that, and we're going to line those up in there and glue them down. And I would recommend you doing the same for each step. So I would then, this isn't straight, there we go. I would then measure this piece, the height minus ½ centimetre, 4.5 centimetres wide, and then do this panel. As you can see on my original, I have used the same pattern and just repeated it twice. You can use whatever colours you like. You can decorate it how you like. This isn't so much about the decorating. This is all about how it goes together. So once again, you end up with two pieces. You lay them, slot them together on the back, what becomes the back part, like so. You then do your folding in and out, your concertinaing. Then you get this first panel and you slip them together. And there you have a muddled up card. I don't know what I've done there. Oh, I do. I've got it round the wrong way. Look at that. You see, you can always make mistakes. I'm very good at them. There we are. That's better. Now, you can do this in various sizes. This is my version to fit inside a standard C6 envelope. There we go. Hope that helps. Take care. Bye-bye.